Welcome to episode 41 of the Chi-Town Shoot Wrestling Podcast. I'm Marcin, and joining me in a squared circle are Chris and David. We're coming at you from the heart of the wrestling world, Chicago, Illinois, bringing you the latest news, hottest takes, and all things WWE and AEW. If you have any questions or thoughts, send them over to chitownshootpodcast@gmail.com. Without further ado, gents, happy, Monday as of this recording. How's your weekend been going? I feel like this week in particular for the wrestling community, there's been so much going on, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's just start with you guys. What's new with you?
Well, you know what's new? We went to the Renaissance Fair on Saturday. Bristol Renaissance Fair.
Oh yes, that's true. I forgot about that. we had our friends from Indianapolis. They were in Chicago and then they moved a couple years ago. They were visiting this weekend, and then we drove to the Renaissance Fair. I think it was on Saturday, and we thought it was going to rain. Ended up just being cloudy and honestly pretty good temperature. Had a good time. We didn't see the joust because it was just super packed.
Yeah, it was like
And
super packed.
yeah, I mean, the place that we normally would sit at where there was a lawn, like there's some grass area, um, now they have stands. So that just got even filled more quickly. I feel like grass, you can kind of like maneuver in, find a spot because everyone is just kind of, you know, getting a little liberal with like, the amount of space in between people. And then with the bleachers, it's not as easy. You only have so much space. So we left a little early.
I wanted to cheer for the evil knight, but
Yeah,
alas, I could
that's where we
not.
normally go. I don't remember. Did you even get a chance to eat anything there? Or were you just
Who, me?
drinking?
Nothing but booze, baby. No, I had the cheese curds. If you're going to the Bristol Renaissance Fair, I would say get them cheese curds first thing you do. I don't know what kind of cheese they use though. I don't know what
Probably
the
Wisconsin.
strain of
Wisconsin,
cheese. Wisconsin cheese.
Wisconsin, usually.
Is that like a cheddar? You know what I mean? Like, is that like, oh, I'm gonna get cheddar cheese. I'm gonna get Wisconsin cheese.
Wisconsin
that
cheese.
Green
I mean,
Bay
like
Packer.
a lot of dairy comes from Wisconsin, and that dairy turns into multiple different kinds of cheeses. So it's not like just cheddar.
Well, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, you know how there's, Monterey Jack and cheddar. Like, what kind of cheese is that in the cheese ball thing? That's what I want to know.
Wisconsin.
Wow. I don't know. Gouda, Swiss,
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin
It's just called
cheese.
cheddar.
It's just called Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Might be Wisconsin cheddar.
I don't know. It was good.
It was fun. And also, me and David, we got tickets for SmackDown, and it's coming to Chicago.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that it said it was going to be John Cena's last show in Chicago, I was like, yeah, I got to go to this. I don't care.
I'm gonna watch it from the best seat in the house, my fucking couch.
Well, you can see us. Maybe I'll make a sign.
Yeah, you should.
And then you can point it
I
out.
thought you were going to a show.
Not on that day.
Well, what the hell?
He's just cheap.
I'm just cheap. What day? What day was it though? What day is it actually?
It's a Friday. It's September 5th.
5th.
Yeah, you said you had something.
I feel like I might have something on the 5th because, like, I feel like it's like September has like 2 or 3 concerts. And they're like one after another, so something like that.
I was a little too close. But yeah, I mean, I knew it was going to be a little pricier, and I just saw like today because I was just curious how like their prices fluctuate, which is a definite problem, and I know I'm probably contributing to it. But John Cena is retiring, so I'm going to make an exception for this specific show. But they went up like from yesterday or from whenever you got those tickets.
Real?
Yeah, like even like the far back, like all the way to the back. If you go upper bowl, like back row, it was almost it was like almost $200.
Are they doing that like price gouging thing, like McDonald's tried to do with their app? It's like certain times of the day would be like a certain price for the Big Mac, and then if you try to eat it at like 6 p.m. or something, it's like $1 more or
Oh,
something.
I don't know they were doing that, but I mean, dynamic pricing, I'm sure is yes alive and well. Just like it's basically based on how many people
Sales.
are how many people are purchasing like super quickly. So like, oh, like I'm assuming it's Ticketmaster who does it. I don't know if WWE
Yep,
or TKO gets a cut of it or not. But the
they
prices
all
go up.
do.
Yeah, they all do. It's a shitty practice, and I honestly do hope that there's some legislation in the future, some administration that actually takes care of this, because I think it's a problem. But
Yeah, big time.
what you gonna
Never.
do? What you gonna do?
What you gonna do, Ticketmaster?
When the feds come for you. Well, David, besides SmackDown, anything new? Anything else new with you?
Nope.
Fun work stuff, of course, as
Came back from
usual.
work.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
work.
we're recording late today.
Yeah.
Burning the midnight oil.
Or
Well,
else I have to go back to work.
right, exactly. Well, as I said earlier at the beginning, at the top of the show, there's been a lot of news that has taken place, including the passing of the one Hulk Hogan. It was probably one of the most, if not the most famous wrestler in the world. He passed away at the age of 71. I think it was had some complications with related to his heart. I think he had cardiac arrest
Yep.
when he when he died. And this upcoming week, of course, we have SummerSlam. There's a first ever 2 day SummerSlam. And we also have a bunch of news stories. We have an AEW, well, technically two AEW stories this week, and one revolves around Tony Khan and MJF's commentary, and the other one revolves around AEW Dynamite surpassing Nitro, and then Eric Bischoff offered his own commentary, and we'll offer our own. In the main segment, we'll talk about Hulk Hogan, uh, his legacy, the controversy, his crossover into pop culture. We'll go over all of it. But with the first segment, let's start with MJF. And recently, MJF went on. He's been actually on a whole promo tour because he is in the new Adam Sandler movie.
And he's a Happy Gilmore too.
Yeah, he's in Happy Gilmore too, and it sounds, and I haven't watched it
He
yet, but it
is?
sounds like he's his kid, one of his kids,
Yep.
which is wild. Did you watch it?
Yep. I watched it yesterday.
Damn.
What'd you think?
I liked it. It was Happy Gilmore enough to not be like it was enough of the first to not like get that like long sequel, too woke, blah blah blah. Like I don't think you'll get that out of that, and I don't think it will offend anybody either. Which
Mhm.
is, I think it's a good Adam Sandler movie.
What did you think
I
of MJ?
I enjoy Adam
I'm sorry.
Adam Sandler, so
What'd you think of MJF's? Did he have a lot of screen time actually, or was it like a one-off scene and then you never see him again?
yeah, he had a decent amount of parts. He was just one of his kids, and like the thing about all his boys is they're just like him.
Mhm.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
so it was just like it, MJF got to just be himself basically.
What were there any other wrestlers that? Because I thought there was one other wrestler. Was it Becky Lynch? There was somebody
Mm-hmm.
who had like I don't know if she had a scene and it got cut
Yeah.
off.
Becky Lynch
Like,
is in the whole last part of the movie. She's a golfer on the other team.
oh, so she does have like a actual like visible part.
Yeah, she's on the last 10-15 minutes.
Dang. I mean, it's got to be. I mean, I don't know. That's great for MJF. I'm assuming Becky Lynch, maybe because of the whole Netflix WWE crossover. Um,
The
and then
Forbidden
MJF
Door.
Forbidden Door, honestly, yeah, through on Netflix with MJF.
In an
and
Adam
Becky
Sandler
Lynch.
movie.
In an Adam Sandler movie. Does Becky Lynch and MJF cross paths in the movie?
Not like on screen. I mean, they're in the scenes, but they don't interact.
Mm, gotcha. I think they definitely. I think in the red carpets, I think there were some like crossovers. Was Cody Rhodes in this too, or am I crazy? Or
He wasn't in there.
maybe I'm thinking of the Naked Gun because I think Cody Rhodes is in the Naked Gun movie.
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a part he has, but he's in the trailer. So a lot of wrestlers starring in Hollywood movies this summer. I think that's pretty fascinating. But with the promo work for MJF, so he was interviewing, and this was on the whole promo tour for the new Adam Sandler movie on Netflix. And Tony Khan, as we know, when he's been talking online in the past, he doesn't normally sit back when it comes to responding to critics online, even if it means using things like Curb Your Enthusiasm memes. And recently, Tony Khan has killed people with kindness instead, focusing on AEW's successes and growing its fan base. And MJF has taken notice, and he's said this to Adrian Hernandez of Unlikely when asked about WWE's counter programming in Tony's view. And MJF said, "I think you'll notice that Tony's approach is a whole lot different. This is the most professional he's ever been online. He's only talking about our company. He's not throwing pot shots. That's because the truth is he really is only focused on our shit. Fully. I'll give him credit for that. This is the most in the weeds, as the kids would say, that I've ever seen my boss be in. Right now, we have an insane amount of momentum. As much as I hate his guts, you have to give him credit for that. You have to. We're a 6-year-old company, and we are the second most financially successful professional wrestling company of all time after only 6 years. It sounds fake, but it's not. We had 82,000 people chanting MJF at Wembley Stadium, the biggest wrestling show of all time, where I retained my world championship. Sounds fake, but it's not. We just did the second biggest show on American soil at Globe Life Field in Texas. Sounds fake, but it's not. All Elite Wrestling makes professional wrestling better, point blank. The reason that when a WWE wrestler is getting interviewed and they get asked AEW questions, and the reason why MJF is getting interviewed, he's getting asked WWE questions, is because the fans can't help but be tribalistic. I think it's dumb, but by all means, do with your fandom what you want to do. What I say is just enjoy professional wrestling. Most importantly, enjoy me because I'm a generational talent and I'm here for a good time, not necessarily a long time. Soak it all in while you can. So, with that, I think there has been like a noticeable less of an interaction from Tony Khan because I think we've even done this on the show before where we made commentary about like, man, Tony, what you're doing is a little cringy. You're the owner of the company and you're fighting the IWC online, taking pot shots and all that kind of stuff. And apparently, Tony Khan has approached this completely differently by quote unquote killing them with kindness. What do you, David, think? What do you think of Tony Khan's new strategy, staying focused on AEW and avoiding pot shots at WWE Online? Is it more effective than his previous approach?
I think so. I think whenever he speaks on the other company, he takes time away from his own. And then it sounds like it was an energy thing, whereas like he was even doing it, you know, in the office.
Yep.
And I think the product has paid off. I think moving into these smaller venues has worked in their favor with because the big thing is like now they have everybody in that room is committed to the show, and with it being in smaller venues, they feel it and it sounds good. That was like a big thing
Yeah.
that I didn't like about like being at Wintrust sometimes was that like if you're in a certain section, it sounded dead quiet.
Mm-hmm. And I gotta say, the Aragon Ballroom shows, it does give like this like ECW, not like the bingo hall type feeling because it's so
It,
uh,
it
so much like
Condensed.
smaller. Yeah, it's
yeah,
more dense, like it's more densely packed, and it holds less people. But I think they just the visuals look really cool. Like
Right.
folks who haven't been inside
The
the
energy's there.
ballroom. The energy's there. I mean, I love the design. I feel like it looked so like the backstage segments and stuff felt really punk rock.
Right.
Just like aesthetically, like they're interviewing people in like the back of the stairs and stuff. Um, and honestly, that's kind of cool that the AEW has been in Chicago for like what, 2 weeks? I think they're done with the residency. I don't think they have any more shows left.
Yeah, I
'Cause I
think
think
it's forbidden door time almost.
Yeah, because I think they've been here for like what, 2 weeks or something. You guys, none of you have walked into an AEW wrestler, have you? Because I don't know. I mean, I guess we're not that close to Aragon Ballroom. I'm assuming they all kind of hung around that area for 2 weeks, but
I forgot I knew they're here, but it like didn't click that it's like they're among us. And I was just like, yeah, they're here.
yeah,
Then,
I mean, I
but
wasn't
they're like
actively seeking
here.
them out.
Yeah, they're like
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Chris, what do you think? What do you think of Tony Khan's strategy of staying focused on AEW and not taking pot shots at WWE Online?
I think it was cringy initially, just like taking those pot shots because like he's like I got a lot of effing money and I'm not afraid to use it, and like it was like late 2022 or something like that, and it just didn't look good. Like WWE is a behemoth, right? And I think it's okay to be in your own lane in second place, and like you said, like kind of do more of like this punk rock kind of a thing rather than like trying to be, the giant corporate thing. I think if they lean into more of that kind of like an aesthetic or the way they kind of present their form of wrestling, it'll give them a new identity, I think. And then also just the quality of the shows has been better, I think, since he started doing that. Like 2025, late 2024, 2025. So far, so good.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen anything like just disappear anymore.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's like a consistency to what's kind of happening on TV. There's a good flow. There isn't like this like weird start stop per se, or just throwing a bunch of random wrestlers and then just having them go away. It seems like they found their like cast of like wrestlers they want to keep kind of rotating through.
And I feel like the peak, like the pot shots and stuff. I mean, I feel like it definitely reached like I don't know if you want to say a breaking point because I think there were still smatters of it throughout 2024, but it was of course, like the punk with like the airing the camera footage stuff. Because that happened,
Oh
yeah, that happened
yeah.
last year, like around April,
Yeah.
and then we had that whole conversation about it, right? And then the speeches with like the rah rah, like yeah. Well, it was like the combination of like that because I think it was like the week or two before with Edge coming out and talking about
Oh, I love being here.
yeah, and then you
I like
got
it.
that footage a couple of weeks later. And news stories, of course. I mean, like Tony Khan was involved with like the social media stuff, and it does seem more like focused this year, of a focused product, and I think that's good. I think there were like some stories that they had to like take care of. They didn't want to just like drop completely, and they adjusted certain people's like you're a baby face, you're a heel. This wasn't working. This is working, and now I think they're in a really good groove. Um, Hangman Adam Page, I think, should be a great champion. I like that he's a face again. Um, and yeah, I mean Tony Storm, I wasn't expecting her to retain from
I knew it.
Mercedes. Huh?
I knew it.
You knew it?
I knew it.
I don't think your match card
It was
knew.
in the
I
tea
feel like you
leaves.
also predicted.
Nah, it knew it, bro. It knew the whole time.
But yeah,
I've known.
I wasn't expecting that. And
Try
it's
to tell you.
awesome that, that she's retained it and then Mercedes I guess got another belt.
She got
In
two more
Poland.
in
Yeah, in
Polska.
Poland. But was it like an Italian promotion that just happens to have a show in Poland or is it a Polish promotion?
I don't know. That
I don't
referee
know.
looked Polish as hell, though. That was a Kamil, if I ever seen one. Conrad. Shout out to my Polish people. Na zdrowie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's getting her belts and she seems happy. Tony Storm, I mean, I loved at the Aragon Ballroom the shows that she was there in. Great stuff all around. Um, Do you feel like so let's talk about because I feel like people like to crap on it, and of course we got a kick out of the stuff that happened last year. Do you feel like fans want like the Twitter/X war? Do you think AEW loses a bit of its us versus them edge when Tony stops engaging with WWE in public feuds? Do you feel like it added anything to it? We can say it's cringy and stuff, but do you feel like it added something to the product
Twitter is
besides a talking point
it's a
for the show?
toxic cesspool of degeneracy. No room for good faith argument. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the like, sorry, AEW Chicago fan base that sat around us, but like some of those takes, like it's so internet. Like I don't think that internet's like you can kind of tell when it's just like a parrot, where it's like you read that somewhere, you don't really feel that way.
Right.
Hmm.
Just talking point,
Yeah,
just parroting stuff.
yeah, it's like
I think
if we could kill that, that's cool.
that's a
It's
majority
always
of
gonna
it.
be there.
I mean, the problem is anybody with a phone can say anything. So you can
Yeah,
anybody can jump on X and create bot accounts and, just for the sake of trolling or whatever. So I would just say I would say Twitter is not a good indicator as far as,
yeah,
the state of the union,
yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, like
yeah.
real life, like looking at a crowd, for example, in Raw or whatever, like people crapping on Jey Uso, where it seemed like a huge chunk were online, and then you go to like a show, like people who actually pay for
Like
the product, like
right.
it's a different story. So I do think that Twitter and all that is not real life. There might be a little chunk of people, of course, like the people who are tweeting, uh, you know,
It's 1%.
live, yeah, but it's like 1%.
It's
And
1%.
even the folks who are like tweeting from or whatever, Xing from their anime profile. Like sometimes they aren't
Yeah,
even real profiles. Like
Anime
sometimes it is
PAP.
literally like a bot
AI.
farm. It's literally like a bot farm or just engagement.
Yeah,
You
just
know,
trying to engagement. Like
yeah,
yeah.
like why would then some people are like
Pretty much.
wasting their energy arguing with somebody who might not even be real, and it's only there to increase engagement for the platform.
Yeah,
And I know that every single social media platform does that. If you go on Facebook, like just random comments that don't even make sense, that are out of
yeah.
context to like the post, I'm like, what the hell are you even talking about? Like, tell me, do you ever like scroll and the comment section, I'm like, what are you even saying here? Like, this has nothing to do with this news story, or like the same like name that brings up something political, like super like, oh, you're gonna get somebody to respond to you, or like it's
Yeah.
like the same 5 or 6 names that just pop up on every news story.
Or the
They
fake
all do
like
it.
movie posters that'll like come out and there's like a gajillion likes, like, oh, the sequel to this movie's coming out, or it's like coming soon. It's like a 500,000 likes, and then the comments are a bunch of bots and people believing this.
Right. Exactly. So let's say let's ease the gas brake there. Don't get too upset, with people online, or just don't even pay attention with like
Love
if you get
wrestling.
upset by it by a
Tribalism's
thing.
lame.
Yeah, just
Like
love
MJF
wrestling,
said.
man.
Wrestling.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so you said, MJF said fans can't, and we can move on to the next story after this. MJF says fans can't help but be tribalistic. What do you guys think about tribalism? Good for wrestling as a whole, or does it hurt the industry?
I don't think it necessarily hurts the industry, but I think it hurts perspective and experiences.
Hmm.
Uh, I
Yeah.
I think like as a wrestling fan, you need to learn to enjoy the art of it, whether or not it's displayed in a WWE way or like an indie wrestling way, because it's like when you capture that type of energy and when you feel that type of energy, you'll forget where you're at. You'll forget who's in the ring. Like I've experienced it. I know you guys have. Like where
Hmm.
it's just like so some of these indie shows we pay just as much as we would for like a New Japan or AEW,
Right.
and and we have equally as a good time. And it doesn't have to be Mox. It doesn't have to be, Roman, Seth. Like,
Mm-hmm.
could
Yeah.
be Alfonso.
Yeah.
Same emotions that I'm
Yeah.
Like,
exerting, like in the show, like, that's like $300 or whatever it is. I get the same energy from like a show that's $50.
right. And I think like a lot of people lose that. Like, that's really what the essence of being a wrestling fan is. It's like you don't have to only like it in like the big leagues and things like that. Like, yeah, that might be what you prefer and like what you put your money towards, but it's like don't like don't be loyal to something when it's that when it's just like all it really takes away from you as a wrestling fan is the experience.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I feel like it's in some people's nature. Maybe we all have
Oh
this
yeah,
innateness of just like putting things into boxes, and wrestling fans are no different. Like they might vibe or resonate with certain aspects of what's happening in AEW, and then vice versa, and like WWE or whatever other brand, and then they attach this identity to themselves, and they have to like defend it till their last dying breath because
right. It ain't
reasons
that
or
deep.
whatever. Right.
It ain't that deep.
you know
Just love it. Just love it.
I mean, the
Yeah.
passion makes them blind.
Yeah, I mean, I've been guilty of like tribalism, but I've also looked at it from I enjoy like healthy competition is good. Some light jabbing here and there is always fun, but like don't like take it personally or seriously where you have to go into like a complete like flame war and you legitimately are like boiling because like you didn't get like your opinion. Like healthy competition's fine, but don't take that shit too seriously. Like you
Right.
don't have to go into like an argumentative like hole with someone over some kind of stupid opinion. Like I can say like AW or WWE is doing better, and I like WWE because I grew up with it.
Right.
It's like the thing that made me fall in love with wrestling, that kind of stuff, and that's why I like it. Um, and AEW is great too. And I've criticized AEW. I mean, I've done recently some criticizing of WWE, and it's not like you shouldn't like just be completely, tribalistic where anything that happens, like, yeah, this is all good, this is yummy, yummy, this is all great. Um, but like I said, healthy competition is good. Enjoy wrestling, like I feel like that's all you got to do. Like this is why I like people like Simon Miller, where he's just like very grounded, very chill. He
Yeah.
enjoys wrestling. He is very positive.
Come on
And
the
there's nothing
podcast,
wrong
Simon
with that.
Miller.
Yeah, come on the podcast.
Yeah, clip
We'll
this,
go to
send
your
this to
next
him.
Chicago. We'll go to your next Chicago match, Simon Miller.
Yes,
Good.
sir.
We need
Yeah.
to.
Oh
Here's
yeah,
why.
absolutely.
He's done second wrestling.
We'll check and see if there are any other shows coming up. But so the next story kind of ties into AEW, and this one. The other one talked about MJF, and this one involves Eric Bischoff. And he said that AEW Dynamite surpassing WCW Nitro in shows is like a participation trophy. So, for those of you who don't remember, April 16th, AEW Dynamite ran its 289th show, and that officially had the brand surpass WCW Nitro as the longest running wrestling show on a Turner network. Eric Bischoff was at the helm of WCW through most of Nitro's tenure, including its famous 83-week run as the top wrestling show on television, beating out WWE Raw, and that's what the name of his podcast is. I think it's 83 weeks.
Yep.
And speaking to Ariel Helwani on the Ariel Helwani show, Bischoff was asked about Dynamite surpassing Nitro. Bischoff said, I just chuckled. It's like a participation trophy. I guess it matters to somebody. If you took all the viewing audience that we had over whatever run Nitro had, I think it would take AEW another 15 years to deliver that audience at the rate they are going, he said. Bischoff admitted he doesn't keep up with the current AEW product, but did say AEW All In attendance was a good accomplishment for the promotion. Tony Khan said AEW All In drew nearly 30,000 fans. Elsewhere during the interview, Bischoff praised TNA Wrestling, believing they could be the number 2 promotion in the next year if they get the right TV deal. So that's interesting. And Chris, you made was that you? Did you just make a loud laugh? Do you
Yeah, that
have
was me.
some thoughts on that? You don't think TNA has it in them with TKO's money?
Nah, are they under TKO? TNA?
They're a
No,
partner.
but they're a partner, and I feel like something's going to happen with TNA in the next couple of years that I think they either get bought
It's about to
out.
happen.
Yeah, I think something's going to happen there.
I mean, that would have to happen. They would have to have the purse for it, and then they would have to be, putting shows in, across the nation in the West, right? U.S., Canada type of thing. Just like AEW, just like WWE, be viable for that. It's possible, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Do you agree with Eric Bischoff's take that AEW Surpassing Nitro in episode count is like a participation trophy?
No. Because the Nitro that people remember fondly was like the perfect storm. You get Hulk Hogan, rest in peace. We'll talk about him later. You get Eric Bischoff getting the right people, WWF on the mend, all that kind of stuff. Create this perfect storm, and then you get your 83 weeks, and then nosedive because of X, Y, and Z, right? So there's AEW's consistent, right? It's been consistent since day one. There were some like slumps, but it's like still in this like viable range, and they've rebounded recently in the last like end of 2024 into 2025 from like a financial standpoint. So no, I don't think it's a participation trophy. I think it's something too that's significant for AEW.
David, same question. Participation trophy or not?
Yes and no. Yes, because if you tally viewership numbers, it's not even close. Like, this is a WCW related, but like, I was reading that like one of Hogan's Saturday night main event headlines did better than this year's Super Bowl and like a couple other sporting events all together.
No kidding.
Right. So, and then no, because while they didn't have, like, while TV might not be competitive as it used to be, or maybe it is, and I'm just unaware of it, like their viewership number standard is not. Like the space might be, but I think that the threshold for viewership is lower these days because of streaming.
Yeah, it's like I was looking at the numbers earlier. It was like 5 million average or something in like the Monday Night Wars for both WCW and WWF, and then now even like WWE's in like almost 2 million. It's like 1.5 million, I think, average or something like that, and then AEW being somewhere around 600,000-700,000 or something for Dynamite.
Like I watch Reliving the Wars a lot on YouTube, and it's just like back to back of like what's going on in WWE and WCW, and they just do recaps of like literally the date. So like it might be like Owen Hart and D'Lo Brown on Raw and NWO shit.
Yeah, that's a cool channel. Respect that guy. I forget what the channel's called, but that guy goes in.
That's like my stuff to put on when there's nothing to put on. I'll just sit there and
comfort watch, good background noise.
Right.
Something cool to listen to.
So just like even all the numbers they had to pull back then compared to like it's like for a WWE it's like a solid million before Netflix was like pretty common, or like 3 mil, but like
apples and oranges. I think it's just like it's just different landscape. I would say in the current landscape, if you're comparing AEW, against any other current promotion, they deserve the praise. But I guess if we're comparing WCW, like peak WCW, yeah, I mean, it ain't there.
If this was Monsters Inc. and viewership filled the canisters, WCW would win.
Right.
It's Mike Wazowski.
Yeah.
So what do you think? So what do you think about AEW's Dynamite's run compared to Nitro in terms of cultural influence, memorable moments, audience loyalty? Do you think that's comparable at all?
Audience loyalty, yes. Moments, no.
No.
I haven't seen Dennis Rodman in the NWO yet.
Yeah, I mean, like
he did show up on the first Collision, I think, though, at the United Center.
Rodman?
Yeah, he did. Yes, yes, he did. Yeah. We were there.
I know, but I don't remember Dennis Rodman.
Too many beers.
Yeah, he was there.
I just remember, of course, CM Punk coming back, but
because they made a big deal about it.
Back from suspension.
Yeah, with the velvet red bag.
Yes, with the velvet red bag. I mean, like, I will say yes. I think AEW, in terms of like a cultural like zeitgeist kind of thing, like WCW, I think was just lucky enough to be part of that storm that also involved WWF, and it's just whatever it was, it just worked at the right time in the right mindset of humanity, let's say that, and it just became this popular thing. And today's landscape is different, and like you said before, TV and the way that people digest information is completely different in 2025 than 1995. In 1995, a lot of television viewing was like appointment viewing because most people didn't have DVR, and if you miss it, you're screwed. Like you don't
unless you had a fancy VCR that you could program.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you had like a bunch of VCR tapes and you were just recording stuff. And some people did, like David, you mentioned that before.
Yeah, dude. I used to have to hit record, bro, for the action figures stuff.
Yeah, like we recorded because we had like Polish school on Saturday, so we would take like existing VHS tapes. We probably recorded over something important. But like, it's like
baptism.
We recorded like I think it was either like Yu-Gi-Oh or Digimon or something like that. So like we were on the ass end of that whole technology stuff. Yeah. Our mom never could find that baptism video. I don't know what happened to it.
She turned it on and it was a random SmackDown and
it was a Monday Night Raw on Telemundo, actually. That's the only way we could get it.
Val Venus coming out.
I remember vividly us recording a Telemundo episode of Raw because we were like, well, we're poor, we don't have cable. All we can do is just watch. We can hear the English in between the Spanish translations. We're like, this is good enough. And it was on Sundays, and of course it was like the week after Raw, but we didn't care. But anyway, side tangent.
Hold on. Do you think it subconsciously affected Chris?
The Spanish?
I think so.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
I think it did. I got to type.
Just asking questions.
Hell yeah.
I mean, yes. So yes, viewership was completely different, and you were required to watch like the show that you wanted to watch, which is why so many people like watched it at the same time, because you then might not be able to see it again unless you get like a VHS or DVD box set of the show you missed or that you enjoyed watching. And now everything is on demand. The internet, let's think about that. Like it existed in the 90s, but not to the degree when it hit like 2000.
You couldn't make a call
and beyond. Yeah, right. I mean, when the internet and social media and all that kind of stuff like that kicked into gear like mid 2000s, and you can't imagine a world before that. Like think about all the people that grew up with already having instant, like everything's on demand. You could watch.
Nobody had to wait for a music video.
Yeah. So like comparing like I think the culture of it, I think WCW, I don't think AEW has reached that. Maybe it could at one point. But I think the cultural significance that Nitro had, I think I don't know if it's possible in this landscape. So they haven't really beaten them there.
I
Um,
I
but
think I think in this world now it's cool to have your own subculture,
mhm,
and I think like you don't always have to be pop culture.
right.
And I think that AEW has found a nice, comfortable home as a subculture. Like they're a major promotion, but like to compare it to something, it's like think of like an independent artist that you might listen to, and you know they live a
Mhm.
good life,
Mhm.
but they're not signed to Sony or Universal or things like that. They're just happy doing their own thing, making enough money to live good. And I think that's what AEW has like kind of figured out. That's what they are.
Mhm.
It's
Like they
about the
don't. They're,
cult.
yeah,
And
it's
if,
like
yeah.
you don't have to be the NFL or in this case the WWE. But what you can do is provide a stable fan base, a stable product, and none of your employees have to be carnies.
Right. And I mean and that's all you can really ask for now, especially, in terms of like just think about all the variety of like music artists.
Right,
Like you have the main people, but you also have people like on Spotify and Apple Music who can just upload their songs onto Spotify. Like it's really pretty revolutionary. And even like YouTube, think about like YouTube stars, influencers or whatever, right? Normally there was like one avenue where you had to go to a specific college or whatever modeling agency, and now anyone, I mean, for good or for worse, anyone can be an influencer or popular, get their 15 minutes of fame, and you can make your niche. And I think now it's you don't have the luxury of capturing the entire globe's attention because the entire globe has so many different outlets and avenues they can consume their entertainment. So it's I feel like it's near impossible to make something like super popular or as popular as it is with like such a focused audience as it was in the 90s. I don't
right,
think it's impossible because there are of course things that people's imaginations get captured. Like it's not like that's non-existent, but I think it's increasingly difficult based on all the options you have to consume.
right.
Um,
Like a good way to like tie into that is
mhm.
like think remember when we were kids and it'd be like new music Tuesdays or whatever that was,
Right. Yeah.
or like even like I used to get ready for school and put on the news and then be like, oh yeah, this is dropping today because it's new music Tuesday. And like now it 100,000 to 120,000 songs get uploaded a day.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And think about like just major stars. Like you can't. I feel like you can't ever have like a Michael Jackson anymore again because it was such. It was like such a like. It was just the 4 or 5 news channels like would be covering it, so that's all you're inundated with. And of course, the music was great, and radio was a majority of the way people listened to their music. And the people who were in charge of those radio stations chose the kind of music that they wanted to play too. So yeah, I like it. It was such like a concentrated force of attention that someone that can get that big like Michael Jackson.
Now Michael pull those numbers today.
Maybe. But with all the competition, I feel like it's increasingly less likely for a phenomenon like that to happen. But who knows?
Like the weekend.
Yeah, like we have people who are popular. Like the weekend is popular, but like again, like it's like Michael Jackson. Like you did, there wasn't a day. I mean, for
No,
better or for
there'll
worse.
never be another Mike.
Yeah, of like news stories about him and all that kind of stuff. It was crazy.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
I'll
So,
be the one to say it. Sorry.
Allegedly.
but like, yeah, I'm sure the weekend like has their audience and stuff. But I feel like
Right.
like MJ
No.
or even like Britney Spears, or for example, like they'd be
Right.
mocked immediately if you saw them on the street, right? Like I feel like even big wrestlers, big
Hulk
celebrities
Hogan.
now, it wasn't that kind of like, it's not that same kind of dynamic. I don't know how else to explain it unless
You ain't
you
no
go
Hogan.
through it. Yeah. So speaking of Hogan, that will transition us to our main story of the show, and that is the legacy of Hulk Hogan. Of course, Hulk Hogan died at 71, and TMZ first reported the news, as I feel like they always somehow get news of a celebrity's death quicker than anybody else, including
Including the families.
I was just gonna say Kobe Bryant. I think like
Right.
TMZ dropped that before, like the family knew through freaking TMZ, which is insane. But yes, TMZ reported the news. They said the medics were dispatched to Hogan's home, and operators stated it was regarding a cardiac arrest. Um, on July 11th, Hogan's wife Sky issued a statement on her husband's health because I think he had like a couple of pictures that he took. I don't know if he was doing an interview, but I haven't seen like pictures recently, but he did not look great in those pictures. Like he got super slim, and we just saw him like he was on Raw in January. So like the change in him was considerable. And earlier the month, his wife shut down rumors that he was on his deathbed. She wrote, "He's definitely not in a coma. His heart is strong, and there was never any lack of oxygen or brain damage. None of those rumors are true. He's been recovering from a major 4-level anterior cervical discectomy, and fusion ACDF, which is an intense surgery with a long layered healing process." And of course, that was July 11th, and on July, I think it was either 24th. It was last week, the week of July 21st. He was reported as passed away. And say what you will about Hulk Hogan, but I think famous and infamous, he was a wrestling figure that I feel like nobody can deny changed the wrestling business. He is someone who I think across the globe was well known, and if you thought of pro wrestling, it was difficult to not think of Hulk Hogan. And a lot of people who normally aren't fans would bring up someone like Hulk Hogan or John Cena, like people who
The
really
Rock.
the Rock, people who kind of cross into that pop culture phenomenon. And Hulk Hogan was one of the first like pro wrestlers to actually do that. Um, you know, everything that he's done, right? People are complicated. I think that is something that you can say about everybody. And like him or hate him, he did leave an impact on the wrestling business. So I did want to talk a little bit about like I want to touch on little bits of his entire legacy and just have a conversation going. So, how do you feel like? Do you feel like Hulkamania could have happened without the Rock and wrestling connection or MTV exposure? And before that, of course, we want to start with like saying that Hulk Hogan in the '80s was like the star in wrestling. Like you couldn't escape Hulkamania for a decent chunk. And
He had his own restaurant in malls, dude.
yeah, he got
Hogan's
his.
Beach.
I mean, he got his.
That was later in life, though.
I mean, he put WWF on the map in the '80s, and WWF really never looked back. Of course, they had some hiccups in the mid '90s, and then it turned around again. In part also to Hulk Hogan, but we'll touch on that later.
But Japan's first champion.
Yeah, I mean, New Japan recently also shared their
Ichiban
post as well.
number one.
So, do you feel like, Chris? Do you feel like Hulkamania could have happened without the Rock and Wrestling connection or the MTV exposure?
Is that the Saturday morning cartoon? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, Rock and Wrestling connection was so basically like
Or
it was the crossover
Mania
with
1.
like MTV, like
Oh yeah.
stars and people into wrestling. So like Cyndi Lauper, people like that whole MTV generation. There was the rock and wrestling connection where you had like music stars, people who were
Yeah.
famous that crossed over into
Well,
the WWE.
Hulkamania was happening. Like I think people drank the Kool-Aid and Hulkamania was running wild. I think it would be more like this WrestleMania go on and stuff without the pop culture crossover. Uh yes, I would say it does. Maybe not to the extent that allowed it to with having Mr. T and Cyndi Lauper and all those people doing all these crossover things. I don't think it would have reached the heights. But again, like Vince McMahon, he put her bet all on black, right? He put it all down, and they were gonna bankrupt if it wasn't successful. So he put
That's the
it
WWE
All in.
propaganda. Yes, yeah, that's the
all
story
in.
of WrestleMania. Um, David, what do you think? Rock and wrestling connection. Like, if you want to comment on that, and also, what do you like? What do you think it is? It was about like Hulk Hogan. Do you think it was the character? What made him be like the breakout star? Because it could be other people, but it ended up being Hulk Hogan as this,
So like
superstar.
what? So Hulk Hogan left WWF, went to AWA, did his time in New Japan before and after, stood in Japan, and I think Rocky 3, and then having that, like, Hulk Hogan was just such a recognizable figure. Like, if you've seen him on TV, you're like, and this was, say this is 84, right? And pre Mania 1. You see him on TV, you see him on MTV, you're like, oh shit, it's Thunder Lips.
Hmm.
Can I just say I saw the was it Carson show where he does the interview? He was
Hmm.
27, 28. I'm like, damn. Man,
That's
built
a
different in the 80s, bro.
Right.
50
Yeah.
year old, 27-year-old for sure.
Yeah.
And, and like, if Hogan is like a fire or a wick, then like the rock and wrestling stuff is just like gunpowder.
Hmm.
Because I think everything he did leading up to it, it was kind of like just like the perfect alley oop
Yep.
for everything that became WWF and Hulk Hogan.
Reagan's
Yeah.
America. You needed that red, white, and
Right.
blue.
That and
Yeah.
it's just like Mr. T, like they're fresh off of Rocky. Both of them are fresh off of Rocky 3. Like we don't see it, and a lot of viewers don't see it when they watch old stuff. But it's like Hogan had a time where he's coming out the tiger,
Yep.
and so it's just like a mixture of like all that. Like it wasn't that he was already pop culture because he was only like a 5-minute scene, but
Right.
that plus what you hear on the radio, what's in right, like what's cool at that time. He already looked larger than life, so it was just like an easy buy-in. The international stuff, like Japan, was already there for his work, so it was just like the ultimate sphere bomb.
Yeah. And Chris, to your point, you said Reagan's America. I think that was also
That too.
pretty decent factor into like why he became popular because his persona was like I am a real American, right? Fight for the rights of every man. Giant, 6 foot,
Behemoth,
blonde haired, yeah, like American flag waving.
Thunder
Uh,
Lips.
say your prayer, eat your vitamins. Yeah, I mean, like that was we were in the middle of a Cold War with the Soviet Union, and this like there was a nationalistic like fervor of like we were talking about tribalism. I mean, this was like the United States
Americana.
and democracy versus Russia and communism, right?
Iron
And
Sheik,
uh,
baby.
And that energy, I mean, I think that helped the energy of like Hulk Hogan's character really get shot into the stratosphere because this is like an outlet where you can like be like, yeah, America, look at this real American Hulk Hogan. And like you said, the Rocky 3 movie, and this was before like he got super big. Like this was like, oh look, this is the guy from the Rocky movie.
Right.
It was again like the perfect storm, and I think Vince McMahon saw money in his physique. He was charismatic, and yeah, the rest is history. And people enjoyed Hulk Hogan for let's say, what is it, like 1986
Go at least
through.
2005.
Well, let's break it up because there was a period where like it was early 90s, around 91 or 92, where people were getting sick of Hulk Hogan.
Oh, the Hogan
Um,
fatigue.
of like, yeah, the Hogan fatigue was real. And again, like this,
Afghanistan.
well, yeah, I mean, like the whole thing, with the, what, with, oh my God, what was his name? Sergeant
Sergeant
Slaughter.
Slaughter.
Go
Sergeant
for it.
Slaughter, and all
Mr.
that.
Iraq.
Yeah. And of course, like, Bret Hart was with the WrestleMania 9 thing where he won the title. And then Hulk Hogan comes out for some reason, and then, yeah, so like I think that was like, okay, now we're not the biggest fans of Hulk Hogan.
Yoko. That was
Yeah,
Yoko's night.
that was Yoko's night, and then it was Hulk Hogan's night, baby.
I'd say
Um,
peak Hulkamania is like 84 to 90, I guess you could say.
89, yeah.
maybe like 91, because when was like the power trip or the
Mega Powers.
Mega Power,
mega
Power
isn't that
Trip
like
was
91?
Stone Cold and
Yeah,
H.
you're right.
Some
The Mega
power.
Powers wasn't that like 91?
That was like 88, 89.
Yeah. So there, I mean, yes, I think up until like 91, I think people enjoyed Hulk Hogan, and then people were looking for something new, as they always do. Like it's a cyclical thing in the business, and honestly, other things in life. Um, do you feel like there's a modern day equivalent to Hogan's mainstream appeal in wrestling today?
Nope.
I mean,
Trying to
You
find-
might see them in movies, but you don't see them in music videos.
Ric Flair.
You don't see it. You don't see that. Well, yeah, and look at what generation he's from.
Are you saying like modern? We're saying like current.
I mean, I guess that's fair because modern, in wrestling today, because like you could say John Cena, and
The
you can say
Rock.
The Rock.
John Cena have a restaurant. John Cena in cartoons.
John Cena is in cartoons.
He's in
Scooby Doo.
He's in
Scooby Doo, baby.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, he's a
He's in
Scooby Doo dog.
Scooby-Doo. I mean, The Rock has Papa Tui, and he's got. I mean, he's probably one of the richest Hollywood actors.
Moana.
Um,
I don't see restaurants in the food court named after him.
Hogan's Beach.
well, how long did like Hogan's Spaghetti Mania last? Because I feel like it wasn't that long. Well, I think he
Pastamania?
had
At least
Pasta Mania. Sorry, not Spaghetti Mania.
Noodle Mania.
just don't see it.
Yeah,
Let's look it up.
yeah. Let's look it up. But I guess in terms of like Hogan's mainstream appeal, I think the only one that can really like say like today, like if we're talking about today, like main active wrestlers, I don't know. But before today, like after Hulk Hogan, I will say that Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock did go like
They're the
like
closest.
they were the closest to like pop culture, like where everyone knew Stone Cold and The Rock, and they didn't watch wrestling. Like you would see them also on Saturday Night Live and people like that. And there were like other people in the roster like Triple H and China, and I think Mankind. Like there was like and The Undertaker to some degree too. Like there was a sense of them, but I feel like Stone Cold and The Rock were like at that echelon. John Cena. I mean, I'll say John Cena too because I feel like a lot of people know John Cena. outside of wrestling, and he's the most recognizable figure, let's say, in like modern wrestling, 2002, like post WCW.
Yeah, I'd
John
say
Cena's the
that.
most recognizable. Um,
I mean,
but
the
yeah,
young audience, like, I mean, once you capture the young audience, I would say that, you know, you're printing money.
yeah. Like Cody Rhodes is popular, but I don't think that he is that equivalent yet. And maybe it's just my old man eyes, and younger kids and people will think differently. But I don't know if Cody Rhodes has reached that echelon as the other three.
He's getting there, but he's not there yet. Let him marinate a little bit in entertainment. And
So have
then
you? So we're talking about pop culture with Hulk Hogan. Have you guys? We've talked a little bit about some of his movies. Was there any movie that you remember that you enjoyed watching besides Rocky 3? Because I feel like you
Suburban
could remember these.
Commando.
The Bird
Three
Command.
Ninjas Mega Mountain.
Oh yeah, he was in that.
Episode
about
86 in Dragon Ball in the tournament.
He didn't voice it, right? It was just someone that looked like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he was in actually voiced in that. Was it Mr. not Mr. Muscles? What was Santa with Muscles?
Santa with muscles.
Is that what it was called?
Something like that.
Before our time.
Well, it wasn't something that I guess we really paid attention to. But he was in a lot of movies. They weren't all great.
Santa with muscles. Yeah, that was it.
We got to
Yeah,
live
and
stream it.
they weren't all
Watch
fabulous, you know. And I think this was when it was like early 90s. He was like, okay, I'm going to start doing more movies. And that didn't really work out for him. Like he did movies, but then, you know, Vince also wanted to start focusing on other wrestlers. And yeah, WCW called, and Hulk Hogan went to WCW in his Hulkamania moment.
What's
So,
crazy? He owned the
yeah.
name.
What was
That's
that?
what I think. That's where Vince learned his lesson on like owning people's names.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah.
think of like when would a wrestler now, other than like Kurt Angle, go to another company and still be able to use their name like that?
Well, I mean, CM Punk, I guess, because he's kept his name. The
Well,
Rock, I think, also.
The Rock got his name back.
Was he technically still? Well, I guess I think he.
Think about all the
stopped
years he
using it.
just went as Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, but I
It
think that was a
wasn't.
conscious decision. He didn't want to use
Nope.
it because he didn't want to tie himself to wrestling.
No, WWE owned it.
Steve Austin? I guess
That's
his
Steve
name.
Williams in real life.
But in movies like Expendables, isn't it just Steve Austin? And
I'm sure that was an agreement.
yeah, I feel like guys in that level, they could probably do whatever the hell they want. Even if it's not in a contract, which I'm assuming it's probably is. There's probably some kind of just handshake
No.
deal.
Vince and now what's the rest of WWE definitely.
Now
I mean,
don't think so.
look at Danielson.
Right, exactly. I mean, Cody Rhodes. I mean, that's his name though. You can't really trademark.
It's
his name.
not. It's Cody Runnels.
No, it's true. And he was Cody Rhodes in AEW, wasn't he?
Nope.
He wasn't Cody Rhodes.
He was
Cody.
Cody.
Runnels?
He was Cody.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Raheem.
Yeah, he was
Cody.
Cody. Yeah, he was Cody Raheem Rhodes. That's how you get around the censors, brother.
Mm.
So he goes to the WCW, and he basically gets kind of like a second life in the NWO, and the heel turn at Bash at the Beach in 1996, which no one saw coming, and I think that was probably the best heel turn of all time.
It
And
was.
like I think John Cena's was. I think that the thing that I will say that makes John Cena's like number 2 is because I don't think they stuck the landing with um, how I wanted the heel run to uh, roll out. Let's say that because I mean I think they've even admitted that they don't want to use Travis Scott anymore. So I feel like that didn't help either. Where they weren't sure what they wanted to do with Travis Scott. He showed up for some reason with them, and then he disappeared. They don't really bring it up or anything like that. Kind of
They
soured
took him
me.
off the game.
Yeah, that kind of soured me on the creative direction of John Cena's heel turn. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed his like promos and stuff, but I feel like you missed something really special by not actually thinking it out because it didn't seem like they did after that. So that's why I think
That was
Cena's
the
is
final
number
boss.
2. Cena's is number 2. Oh, and the final boss heel turn. I mean, he's been a heel before, so that's why that's more like number 3. But I don't want to start ranking.
No, I
heel turns.
mean Trav was
Well, just the
called by the
connection with
final boss.
yeah, like or even like Rock's connection to the whole thing. I don't know. Has it been addressed on Raw or something?
Kind of in interviews, but I
Enjoy the ride the Rock is putting you on.
enjoy the ride. So, which is fair, but yeah. So Hulk Hogan, his heel turn, I still think is probably the most shocking.
Greatest. That's it. There's
At
nothing
Bash at the
close.
Beach.
Yeah.
And his reaction, I mean, like they were getting peppered with trash. I mean everything, and he was actually thinking of like not doing it up until that last minute.
He was scared.
Like they were worried that he was gonna like not show up.
Sting
and
was in the
they were gonna be
rafters.
screwed. Yeah, they were gonna be screwed.
He's in the match.
Yeah, he was
So-
gonna be the guy.
Yeah. And then it worked, thankfully, and Hollywood Hulk Hogan was born. And when it happened in 1996, why do you think the Hollywood Hogan gimmick worked so well after a decade of being the ultimate babyface?
It was just the essence, the culture of the time. It was just so much happening in the early '90s, and they were just tapping in. Bischoff, to his credit, had his finger on the pulse as far as like what was kind of happening. Music, hip hop was huge in that time, and all these other things. It was just getting more real, right? And then WWF was cartoony, so as Bischoff always says, and every time he's being asked, he's like he wanted to make it real and that kind of thing. So
He said, "Say your prayers, eat your vitamins." I said that for the money.
the money, brother.
Get those vitamins up your ass, brother.
Right? Peace to them, boy.
I said would. Yeah.
So
no.
how do you feel? How do you feel like the NWO kind of reshaped wrestling storytelling and like faction dynamics? Because I feel like factions, there
Bullet
were
Club,
teams,
baby.
Art Foundation, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like the NWO was like what made like factions and stables like super cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel like they reshaped wrestling, the NWO?
I mean, it's forever changed. Like you just can't go back as far as like
They
you put a couple guys in a ring or women in a ring, and it's just like they're taking something from that playbook. You know what I'm saying?
other than Rick Rude and Shawn Michaels, can you name other cool heels before that? In Razor, but you
Ric Flair. No.
Look Rick Flair. Okay,
Mm,
but how many like
Iron Sheik.
were there cool
not
heels?
corny. Yeah, I'm not corny.
Yeah, like Sheik wasn't a cool heel. Everybody just hated Sheik. Like, I mean, we also don't know, but like we're told that everybody like Sheik just had so much heat that they cut his tires. They did this. Like,
They didn't
Cactus
say
Jack,
him
they
because he was
slash
a
his
foreigner.
tires.
He wasn't cool.
Right.
They just didn't like him because he was a
Right.
foreigner.
Like where's the bad guys that they cheered on other than like a Rude or an
Yeah.
HBK,
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. I feel
a
like
Razor, a
they
Diesel.
definitely made heels to be the anti-hero was cool because like Steve Austin was after this, like the evolution of it. Um, do you feel like NWO's Hogan era was more impactful than Hulkamania? If we look at
I
pop
think we're
culture.
getting to the point in time where the answer is yes.
What's
Like
the what's the time frame though? Because let's say 94 or
so
5 if we're talking, and then like really like what
we'll go
98 9.
we'll go rough, like think of wrestlers influenced by like 84 to 90 and then think of wrestlers influenced by 93 to 2000.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean it was
Like
definitely just different. Yeah, it was definitely like just crazy. I mean, it's weird because it's like, I mean, he's the same guy that, again, like we're talking Hogan here, that put wrestling on the map in the 80s, and then, it was doing its thing, it was tapering off, and then again, to
reshaped it.
to his credit, kind of lit the fire for this attitude thing that started to happen, which forced WWF to compete, right? So, you could make the argument that if there was no, NWO Hogan, there's no Steve Austin necessarily or any of those guys. So,
If there's no NWO, is there a Bullet Club?
I mean,
Is there an AEW? Is there like a cool heel that's called the Cleaner, Kenny Omega?
yeah. I mean, wrestling, as far as we know, I mean, it could not be, it wouldn't exist in the form that it does right now, I would say. I don't think that's
Yeah.
controversial.
I think Hulkamania is like around 85 through
90.
90, 91.
Up
I
until
guess,
Taker dropped him on that chair.
That
yeah.
that
I mean,
first Ultimate Warrior feud, I think, was the end of that.
Oh, you got me, brother.
I think the other thing that was around the same time, and I think that also contributed to Hulk Hogan's drop in popularity was the steroid scandal, which was like around 90, 92, 93. And I mean, he was basically like on all the talk shows. The court trials were on the news too. And
Vince
like,
had a broken neck.
yeah, exactly. He came into the courtroom with a neck brace because he thought he'd get more sympathy.
Some brownie
Um,
points.
yeah, that is some like WrestleMania or wrestling like uh, gimmick.
Like,
Carney
sir, you're not in the
shit.
writer's room.
Yeah, so it looks like Kurt Angle with like a fucking tiny cowboy hat. I think that's the vibe I'm getting. But yeah, but yeah, the steroid scandal. I think it's shown a light on all the wrestlers with the roids. So the notion of taking your vitamins and saying your prayers meant something completely different after they realized he
He
was
didn't say
taking
what vitamin.
vitamins in the ass. Um, so I think Hulkamania ended around like 92, 93, and then he went to WCW in 94,
Played bass
and
for
he
Metallica, brother.
He tried.
No, that
he
was the
tried.
rumor, though.
Mars said, "I don't know what he's talking about." um, so yeah, it'd be like so. I'd say Hulkamania. I feel like Hulkamania lasted longer. And the NWO, I mean, the NWO was like 6, 7, 8, 9, like 4 years. I mean, I guess it lasted through 2000, but I don't know if people,
And then they were resurrected in '02. And
yeah,
unfortunately, in '02, to everybody's demise, they were over.
yeah.
Mhm.
So
They didn't
I'll
get
say
booked
like NWO lasted maybe like 5 years.
for
Um,
life.
and because I feel like Hulkamania, I think that lasted longer because I feel like people in pop culture when they hear Hulkamania, like people know NWO, but I feel like Hulkamania is more well established, well known to like a regular person if you thought
Yeah.
about wrestling. And then the other thing, like it's the same with how NWO was slightly resuscitated in WWF when they got purchased by Vince. Hulkamania had another reign for like what, 2 years,
02 to
2003,
05.
02 to 05, right? So like 3 years. And he actually became what, champion once?
He was the last WWF champion and the first WWE champion.
Yeah, so
Cool
I mean,
stat.
Hulkamania had another 3 years, and if this was also the same timeline when Hollywood Hogan faced The Rock, and I think that's when he became uh, red and yellow Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan after that, right?
he. Yep, he came in as NWO, and then the story is, but it's Hogan's words, so
Yeah, yeah.
take it
So,
with a grain of salt. But it's pretty close to the story that I've heard.
yes. So I'll say, like on the whole, Hulkamania was, I think,
Yeah,
the more impactful in terms of just shaping a generation, and I think having people's eyeballs put on the product. Um, and NWO did too, but I think Hulkamania had a longer lasting look. Um, so how do
it's what he
you?
retired
What
as.
was that?
It's what he retired as was the red and yellow.
Yeah. Let's take Hulk Hogan in like the Hulkamania version. Do you think we can draw a straight line from Hulkamania to later baby faces like John Cena or Roman Reigns? Do you feel like he was the prototype, and John Cena was, I think that was his gimmick name, but do you feel like do you see a through line from like Hulkamania and Hulk Hogan, that kind of um template, to someone like John Cena?
I see it's a Cena.
For sure, Cena. At
Yeah,
least he's the most immediate
Colorful
there.
shirts.
Child
and probably
appeal.
Always
probably
finds a
Cody
way to make
Rhodes.
it back.
Yeah,
I
Cody
think
Rhodes
Cody
too.
Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes has found a nice way to use language
Hmm.
to differentiate himself, and also like I don't think Cody falls into that like template ass type of wrestling style.
That's true, and I don't think people viewed him as like this unstoppable person.
Right.
Like Hulk Hogan it was like an action figure with
L-
like
Yeah,
kind of like what John Cena was.
yeah, like I think Cody's thing is like he's gonna find a way, like whether like even like if you like I think of like Cody versus Brock. You know, like
Hmm.
remember how like Cody attacked him right away
Hmm.
before the bell rang?
He's got
Yeah.
true grit. I mean, I like to
Yeah,
point to the pec tear. You know, like
Hmm.
that was messed
that
up,
too.
and he struggled through. There's more of a struggle, but there's a perseverance, and it's the drama of the struggle of him getting to it. The Cody story, he lost the first time, and then he gets it back. It's that kind of thing. So he's not this unstoppable force, but more of a believable force, I would say.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Like when Cody does heelish things, there's like a good like feeling of like, oh, he did it because that was the only way. Like,
Strategy.
yeah, like it's like no, he did that because he knows they'll bend the rules, so he bent the rules a little bit real quick.
So, what do you guys think in terms of Hogan's later career, including his runs in TNA?
I'm not gonna. I pretend TNA didn't happen.
And a later return to WWE. But do you guys have any thoughts on that, or?
I just have a distinct memory of that era of when I worked at uh, this liquor store and I was in the back and they had TNA on the small little TV and you got Hogan. It was airing the same time I think as I don't know if it was SmackDown or if it was
It was
Raw.
Raw.
It was
You
It
Raw.
was Raw.
watched the Bret Hart reunion in the back of a liquor store? Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about?
No, like, well, Hulk Hogan shows up on TNA and Bischoff's there and this whole thing, and they're like live for the first time in a while or something.
I think
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
up
the
Like
same
against
night.
2010, like
yeah,
2010,
it was up against the
2011.
Bret Hart show.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, Bret Hart's return to Raw in 10 years or whatever it was at that time, or 12 years, 13 years, whatever it
Yeah.
was.
That's my most fondest memory of that era of TNA. Shortly turned to Impact.
Did any of you watch Hogan Knows Best? Because I feel like there were so many reality shows like Ozzy Osbourne, who also recently passed away. Like the way that
Sharon.
All the VH1 stars of that time.
yeah, I mean like the
No,
way
Ozzy
that
was on TV.
Ozzy was like his that series I feel like made him popular again with like young kids
Yep.
because they're like, oh, it's the guy from the reality show instead of like being the Black Sabbath singer
It's the
or the
guy from
Ozzy
Little Nicky.
or Ozzy Osbourne,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, it's the guy from
Yeah.
Little Nicky or is the guy from the Osbournes. Um,
Yeah.
did you guys watch Hogan Knows Best? Because I didn't, because I mean I didn't have access to it, but
I
I
just
watched like 2-3 episodes.
I just
I don't remember shit.
I just saw this like clip recently where he's like in the car and he's like replaying the same
Some
song. Like,
Jeezy.
yeah, he's like replaying it like 3 times. He's got the
Dude,
window rolled down and shit.
so like he's also in like Dodge Ram that's a SRT 10, so that was like one of the first SRTs that these kids love these days. Like, and that was basically a pickup with a Viper engine, dude. So he was going crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's just like we're talking about this. It's gonna be nothing but that in the reels now.
Yeah,
TikTok.
dude.
So, how do you feel like in terms of the he was a like a popular wrestling figure, but he wasn't always popular backstage in terms of backstage politics. And you know that doesn't work for me, brother. I mean, we say that thing all the time, right? How do you square that with his character in terms of like his personal? You want to say ambitions, image? How do you feel about how he did politics backstage?
I mean, I think to your normie casual wrestling fan, like most people are not paying attention to that side. Like it's only really the people who are in the weeds or listening to this podcast, obviously, um,
Mhm.
that pay attention to that side of Hulk Hogan. But I mean, it is a reality. Like if you're a wrestling fan and you're consuming this stuff, you probably understand like how stuff was. And I mean, if you want to blame somebody, really, it's Bischoff giving these guaranteed contracts and giving them full
Creative
creative
control.
control over
Yeah.
all their stuff. So really, there was a double-edged sword. It was the downfall of WCW because it was just like again the what's the saying go? The inmates run the asylum, that kind of
Hmm.
thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate, but it's like you could see it, but then it's just like going into business for yourself type of deal, which is then detrimental to the rest of the product. Even if you printing money and you're this person and you've earned that and all that kind of stuff. I get it, but it's just still it's not good for the at the end of the day. Clearly, because WCW doesn't exist anymore. So
How do you feel like Hogan? Do you feel like Hogan remained in the spotlight for too long as a wrestler, or did he manage his aging legacy well? And I feel like the stereotype of like the wrestler who always comes back for that one last match, and we've made jokes about Ric Flair having his 20th retirement match. How do you
His last
feel?
match.
Yeah, his last match where he actually
scratched out.
dies in the ring. How do you feel like Hogan's career, everything included? Do you feel like he went on too long? Was there
I feel like he
bowing
went
out
on
period.
too long. I feel like if he would have found a way to get out of the ring, kind of like Dusty.
Yeah,
Like if he just
mentor.
would've chose the, if he just would have found the right time to get out of the ring and like be a creative force for others,
I just
I
think.
I
Yeah,
feel
go
like
ahead.
he would have lived longer. Like I don't know how true it is, of course, but it's like putting over Goldberg in the Georgia Dome.
Mhm.
Like if that was a Hogan call, that's like a very very important call to the trajectory of wrestling.
Mhm.
I mean, he lost to Brock Lesnar, I think, too.
Losing the Brock, yep. He lost to Rock.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, it's just like he it seems like he can do the right stuff. It doesn't seem like he's like just like one speed like yeah, like the meme doesn't work for me, brother. But I think it's situational. But I mean, he himself understands that he's a brand. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well, where's the money at? Is this good for money? And it's kind of, I mean, he obviously is in his own best interest, and he probably, that's what drives him. So yeah, it's tough, but I mean, again, like that's why there should be multiple people in the room, and then having the second, third, fourth, fifth opinion on what actually should be happening for the betterment of the product itself, versus like, well, I'm Hulk Hogan and I'm good for this or that, and it might not
Yeah.
be true.
I mean, like famously, like Shawn Michaels was supposed to have 3 matches with Hulk Hogan. I think it ended up just being 1. And
Yep.
then from
That
frustration, I
was
think
fine.
HBK oversold the shit out of every move in that match. I think it was SummerSlam 2005, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken, which is good timing because that means it's the 20th anniversary of that match in
We should
August.
watch it, watch along.
Yeah, honestly, I think that'd be fun too. That actually gives me a good next episode topic is the HBK versus Hogan saga. The
H
background and the match itself.
he did a lot for Randy,
Yeah, and I
even though
think
he
that was
beat Randy.
that was a year after, right? That he did
Yeah.
the Randy Orton. That's the one that I remember because I think that's the year that we started watching again. So that was like our first SummerSlam that we actually watched live.
I think that was his last SummerSlam.
Yeah, so that was Randy Orton
Dang, we're about to watch
versus
SummerSlam
Hulk
next week, dog.
Hogan.
Hmm?
SummerSlam, yes. And we'll also be
Not
having
this week.
our predictions. It is this week. This
Wait, it's Monday.
Saturday.
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah, this Saturday and Sunday.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
hosting
2 days.
Sunday. Um, so okay, so yes. So going back to that initial question. So in terms of remaining in the spotlight too long, did I get a definitive answer from you guys? Do you feel like
He did.
Yeah,
he went too long?
He
Yeah.
did. He could have found a way to be a creative force without being in the ring.
I would
Yeah.
say if he went off
But I
into the
get it.
sunset after Hogan Rock, I guess. Like, I feel like that
Or
was,
Randy.
or Randy. I mean, yeah, like anything after that is, no.
Anything after 2005 or 6, I just
Yeah, like the
Men in Black.
occasional appearance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean it's
Uh,
yeah, the
Men,
occasional appearance.
uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I do also think that he stuck around too long, and there's nothing wrong with being in the business, and
right,
like you can cut a promo, you can make an appearance, you could do a leg drop here and there, but
right.
in terms of like active in the ring, um, yeah, I feel like there could have been like a proper retirement, but maybe he never wanted to do like a proper retirement because he felt like he can never truly leave the business. Like I feel like Ric Flair, I mean, he at least had an angle where he was retiring. And John Cena, of course, is doing his year long. This the last time is now. retirement tour, which is unprecedented from someone of his stature. And I will be curious to see if he actually keeps his promise and doesn't wrestle again. But I feel like John Cena is the person that can
I think
actually
he
stick
will.
to that. Yeah. So yes, I do think Hulk Hogan probably stuck around a little too long. And of course, his outside of wrestling did not help his
His
reputation.
epic
Um,
meltdowns.
but in terms of like his promo work, when you're comparing him to other people like Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock or Shawn Michaels, John Cena, where would you rank Hogan as a promo guy? Do you feel like he's top of the
Top
pack,
three,
somewhere in the middle?
top three, top five.
I don't know
I
if I'd put
think
him there.
of when when I think of mic work, I think of 84 to 89, just like being able to take a whole arena and the amount of people that used to watch on TV, like just being able to hook all that in.
Hmm.
I think of him saying in '96, all of you could stick it, and then just like garbage flowing into the ring. I think of the 83 weeks, because for those 83 weeks, he was usually behind the stick opening the shows.
Yeah.
So I gotta give it to him for that. I think of one.
All right, you changed my mind. I'm convinced.
What were you gonna say?
I was just like, initially my reaction was like, I don't know if I'd put him top 5 or 3, but when you factor in the behind the scenes stuff and the Mr. T stuff and all that kind of stuff, like very animated, it was like on brand for like the 80s as far as just like super, over the top, and it's memorable. That's another thing, is like promos should be memorable. These things should be something that you can quote, or definitely one of the quotable guys. Like if you have quotable,
Brother.
yeah, I mean, like people are saying that stuff like nonstop forever, most likely. So catchphrases, sure, it gets stale after that, but it's just like once you got it, you got it. So I guess you got to give it to him.
Yeah,
Somewhere
I
up
mean,
there.
I think for branding and stuff, I do think it is great. I think from my personal taste, I think his promo is more uh, middle of the pack, I'd say.
Nah,
Because
man.
well, like I do think he's like a catchphrase machine, absolutely.
Oh yeah, 24-inch pythons,
Yeah, I
boy.
mean, like
Greatest hits.
he goes through the Rolodex of that shit, when he's on the microphone. So like that, like I prefer like a Shawn Michaels or a Chris Jericho even, or CM Punk, of course. In terms of like promo work, promo being on the microphone, and Cody Rhodes even like in giving me
Throw
a
his
story.
dusty ass over the top rope.
Yeah, exactly. Timeless, timeless. Um,
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing,
We are a
actually. Even.
Chi-Town shoot.
That was perfect timing. So I like those are the kind of guys that I prefer with promo work. So he was very his delivery, he is charismatic, catchphrases and stuff. Yes. I mean like that talk about branding. I mean that's the kind of stuff that people can repeat like a commercial, right? Or a jingle because he said that all the time. And it worked for a little bit. I do think it gets a little stale eventually because dude, brother, Mean Gene, like he has the same cadence in his promo work. um so it worked for a bit, but I personally prefer a little more variety. um Now what do you guys think about in terms of him being a face or a heel? Which one do you feel like he worked better as?
Mm,
I mean, at this point, wasn't he always a heel?
real life heel, brother.
Yeah,
So, like,
backstage too.
here's here's and I know I've talked about this on here before, or even like with you guys, like privately or just amongst ourselves. But it's like, so I grew up on NWO Hogan, and like because the people around, like the adults around me, thought NWO was so cool, and I didn't know that they thought it was cool because they grew up on Hulkamania. That it's like when the NWO would beat up people, I'd just be like, well, it's those guys' fault for not having enough friends. Like, so like it's tough,
It's a numbers game.
right? It's like, is he bad or is he smart?
Yeah, it depends who you ask, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That was the whole anti-hero thing. Uh, in the
and,
90s, which the same thing like Steve Austin, right? Like he was
and
a heel technically
right,
for a little bit, but
and then it's like fast forward, you know, NWO goes to WWE as a group of bad guys, and like you got 9-year-old me in the crowd who thought as a 4-year-old that stuff was cool. So what does he think as a 9-year-old?
mhm.
That it's even cooler. And so it's just like he gets a pop, they get a pop, you know, WrestleMania 18 happens, he's still getting a pop, and then he comes out in Hulkamania. So it's like, I don't know. It's a tough call because it's almost like the Stone Cold thing. It's like, was it for a kid? Was it like enough heel to become a face? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's all about perspective, but
right. Like
I mean, if it, without weaseling out of your question, um,
for me,
I
it's heel.
yeah, I mean, I think I prefer his heel stuff. I think there's the rawness of that stuff is just something I just like more out of my wrestlers rather than like just squeaky clean good guy kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like they'll have moments where they're like good or whatever, but it's not just like absolute, you know, super nice guy or whatever. So
Yeah.
Kenny Omega became the most popular person not under the WWE branch, being a cool bad guy
Hmm.
with a faction that wore black and white and won matches by the Young Bucks running in, by Hangman running in, by all those guys running in, Tamatonga.
I mean, it really comes down to just the era of wrestling. But I would say the the squeaky clean baby face. I think it works in pockets of time. Like you said, it's cyclical. Like through the '80s, obviously it worked. A lot of influence from, again, political, et cetera, et cetera. John Cena worked because, I mean, I guess it just did. Even though depending who you ask, but like successful financially amongst the children.
Yeah, and he was, and John Cena's, like he was like an action figure, but his worked in his era was because like it wasn't like a patriotic type thing necessarily. It was like hustle, loyalty, respect. So he was doing like
He found other values that were
yeah, that worked for him, and then they kind of like made the character from those specific things. Like he wasn't waving around an American flag, even though like he was the doing the tribute to the troops and that kind of
He
stuff.
was the
The
Marine
salute,
dog.
yeah. So a little bit of it was more muted than like Hulk Hogan's was like an in your face like his
I'm
literally
a real
yeah, literally the theme song was I am a real American. So a little
and
different.
he fought for your rights
Yeah, and John Cena
and your
was a
life.
rapper. And John Cena was a rapper and had an album, like it was a different trajectory of where their character went.
Different
So
grassroots.
Yeah, so in terms of we'll wrap this up in a little bit, but in terms of Hulk Hogan as a character, and let's even keep the same person, do you feel like if he started his career in today's wrestling landscape, do you think it could work? With all the wrestling styles that we have now, you know, everything crossed over, New Japan, luchador style, and all that kind of stuff, and then you have like a Hulk Hogan, who is a catchphrase machine, leg drop, scoop slam type of
Greatest
guy.
hits.
Yeah,
Do you
they're in
feel like?
AEW right now, brother. Ah!
Well, what do you think? Do you think he can work in 2025?
Uh,
Not
I
the
think it.
politics or anything. I'm talking about like just
I
the character.
I don't know. I think his New Japan time kind of says he could.
yeah, but even the landscape of New Japan in the 80s, I feel is just different.
No, dude, Ishii.
No.
Not that
Ishii.
he's from the '80s, but it's like he's that old AJPW and stuff like that type of style. Eddie Kingston's that kind of style. Like
Yeah.
Gunther's that kind of style. Like that Gunther, JBL.
But can Hulk Hogan be Hulkamania Hulk Hogan, or would he be like El Grande Americano
Mr.
type?
America.
Like yeah, like just
Are you
he's
Hulk Hogan?
yeah, it's a gimmick,
No,
but
brother.
can he cross into like pop culture mainstream like he did in the 80s? I would argue that he wouldn't.
I don't think
Um,
so.
I would
No.
argue that he wouldn't. Um,
I don't think behemoths are as much of a spectacle as they were back then.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's the other thing. I don't know if he'd be able to do it because he need the steroids, but
No,
like,
dude, that's why he'd be able to do it because he could still do them.
yeah, but like the 24-inch pythons and like that whole shtick, I don't know if it can work in 2025. I do think it was like, again, like so many factors that can only work in the 80s, and it just worked, and it came together, and he, surpassed wrestling itself and was part of Americana and pop culture as a whole. And yeah, but I don't think that that character now can function in today's wrestling landscape. But as we wrap it up, well, I guess I just want to end on more of an open-ended question for you guys, and I guess I could start with you, Chris. How will you remember Hulk Hogan?
Um, I would say it's red and yellow, baby. The Hulkamania. I mean, that's the most immediate thing that just kind of pops up when you think
Mhm.
Hulk Hogan. Lifting weights, like training, like that's the main thing that'll pop in my head, man.
How about you, David?
uh, I I cut him off at 2005, 2007. Like
Yeah, same.
like like when he passed away, like when I read it, I didn't believe it, and then when I read it again, I thought of a 9-year-old that went to his first wrestling show and Hollywood Hogan just happens to be there.
Mhm.
Uh, I tried not to think of the crazy things that Terry has said. And, uh, well, yeah, like I think that's the easiest way to put it. Is like I think of like all the when I heard of it, I thought of like my first action figures. I thought of video games. I thought of like personal experience, and it doesn't take away from all the other stuff. But it's like I just gave it a moment. It's kind not that he was a family member, but it's like when your kooky uncle croaks and you don't think about all the other things that he said. You think about him taking you to the park or him teaching you something.
Yeah.
And yeah,
The kooky racist uncle that we joked about.
yeah, like I said, like, and you know,
Yeah,
as a Filipino and Mexican, I'm gonna say it like we all have those type of family members, whether we're minority or whatever we are. We might have family members like that, or we might have childhood figures that like we grow up and we find out that's kind of what they're like. And but I tried to think about like the inner child, and like my inner child was I don't want to say like hurt, but it was affected, like where it kind of made me just like think about it. It summed up everything. I think now we're officially at that point as wrestling fans where we're gonna start getting hit with that, as opposed to like the generation before us that gets hit like that.
Mhm.
And yeah, fucking sucks to hear anybody die. I wouldn't wish death on anybody. Uh, I mean, the only times in our lifetime where we've seen death get celebrated was Osama bin Laden. Like, and I don't think he's on quite the
he's
trajectory as Osama bin Laden.
he's not
Thank you,
on the
John
same.
Cena.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, John
it,
Cena
it,
killed
it,
Osama bin Laden.
that's the easiest way for me to put it. It's like okay, like I have to see other people that I consider my heroes be on their podcast and YouTube and things on their own channels, and cry their eyes out. I don't want to see DDP like that. I don't want to see Kevin Nash like that. Like, and yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, I understand what he said. I understand what he said was completely freaking wrong. And you know, Devon Dudley had said it where it's just Hogan had like personally apologized to him. He saved his life a couple times, and Devon's a person that believes that you shouldn't judge a person at their lowest.
Mhm.
And if you look at that time frame of Hulk Hogan, outside of that personal collapse and complete lapse of anything, like that that wasn't the guy that motivated kids. That wasn't the guy that motivated the wrestlers that we watch. That wasn't the guy that inspired anything that inspired us.
Mhm.
Like our favorite wrestlers, that's their favorite wrestler.
Yeah, I think I'll echo similarly in terms of like his career up until 2005 and 2006. Um, as a character, as a wrestling figure, I feel like you can't deny his star power and how he affected the wrestling business as a whole. I do think that his character and propelled like pro wrestling to like the medium that we love to its current heights, and
Right.
he was a big part of it. So I'll definitely won't deny that. And of course, like you said, controversial, absolutely. I won't deny, and you can't deny. As a human being, for me personally, obviously, not the biggest fan of his
Later
um,
life.
later life worldview, that kind of stuff. And
Right.
I can disagree on that with him. But of course, he passed away. He has a family, so I don't wish um, ill will towards the people who are, um, you know, basically grieving right now because a family member passed away, a close friend passed away. So I think I can separate not separate. I think I can acknowledge what he contributed to the business, and also disagree on his personal philosophies. So like for me, viewing Hulk Hogan, that's uh, kind of where I am. But I think he deserves his Hall of Fame spot, and his legacy in wrestling, I mean, you can't deny it, you know. Like him or hate him, I'll say that. So Hogan as a wrestling star, you know, thank you for everything that you did to the business. Rest in peace, brother.
When
And
Darth
yeah,
Vader died, the next time we seen him, he was Anakin Skywalker.
that's true. But yes, that is a wrap for this episode of the Chi-Town Shoot podcast. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, rate us, and leave your feedback. Tune in next time for more wrestling madness. Until then, keep marking out.